Well, hello there. Back. Hello guys, my name is Vivek and welcome back to Brown Boy Reading. It's been a while, like a long while, 5-6 months I think, and I'm kind of not gonna go into any of that today. That's gonna be for another video some other time. Today we're here to do the mid-year book Freakout tag. I saw this tag floating around BookTube and it looked really interesting, so I thought for my comeback I would do this tag. So without any further ado, let's just begin. I kind of tried my best to come up with one answer to a lot of these questions, but was very unsuccessful in that because I realized I could not for the life of me just pick one book for a lot of these questions. So yeah, you're gonna get multiple answers to a lot of these questions. Question number 1. Best book you've read in 2019. For this one, I could not pick just one. I went with, four. I went with 4. The first book is Beer Town by Frederick Bachman. I absolutely love this book, just so much. Both Beer Town and Us Against You, the sequel to Beer Town, were kind of the contender, but I kind of went with just Beer Town for this one because I enjoyed Beer Town a lot more than Us Against You because, I don't know, it was just so good. Frederick Bachman can really capture human emotions, human interactions. His stories are so nuanced that you kind of, the moment you're done with this book, you feel like you're leaving your best friends behind because you get to know these characters so well. The second book is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This book is set in World War II and follows 2 sisters during this very tumultuous time. This book is gonna make you feel so many feels. You get angry, you get frustrated, you're happy, you're sad. But most of all, this book is very hopeful. It shows you strengths that are in hidden places within us. It shows different types of strength that we all possess. I adore this book. Absolutely adore this book. The third book is Circe by Madeline Miller. Absolutely love this book. Absolutely adore Circe. I think this is one of the strongest character portrayal I've ever seen. Not ever, seen so far in 2019. I love the writing. It was so beautiful, so lyrical. I just loved pretty much all the characters, at least the good guys anyway. And I don't know, this book was just, it makes you feel like you're in this journey, and once you're in it, you just don't want to leave it until you finish the book. So the last book in this category is Becoming by Michelle Obama. This is Michelle Obama's autobiography and is just amazing. Reading it, you kind of get a inside look into the Obama family, but mostly Michelle Obama's life. From her childhood to her college years to when she met Barack Obama, and she also takes us through the election years, so it is kind of like an insight into who she is as a person, at the same time who the Obamas are. This book was just amazing, and Michelle Obama actually narrates the audiobook. I would suggest you do that because she's amazing. The book is pretty amazing. Question number 2. Best sequel you've read so far in 2019. So for this one, once again, I couldn't pick just one, so I went with 3. The first one is Us Against You by Frederick Bachman, the sequel to Beer Town. The book takes place after the events of Beer Town, so there is so much deeper we get into the town and the people that inhabit the town, so just as good as Beer Town, honestly, just marvelous. The second book is Down Among the Sticks and Bones. Is the second book in the Wayward Children companion series by Shauna McGuire. I've read all the published Wayward Children series so far, and I think my favorite is Down Among the Sticks and Bones, just because of how fairy tale-like it is. It has all the elements of a fairy tale, and I just really enjoyed the story. And the third book is The Girl in the Tower by Catherine, what was her name? Catherine Arden. Oh, fuck me. The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden is the second book in the, what is it called? The Winter Night trilogy, I think? Anyway, I really enjoyed Bear and the Nightingale. I've actually finished the entire series, all 3 books. But my favorite is The Girl in the Tower, just because of how high the stakes get. in the second book and some of the interesting twists and turns that we discover in the series. So yeah, The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden. One of the best sequels I've read this year. Question number 3. New release you haven't read yet, but want to. Okay, so for this question I picked A Curse So Dark and Lovely by Bridget Kemmerer. I'm probably butchering his name right now, but yeah. This book has been making rounds on BookTube lately, and it's a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, with our main character has some sort of illness, I think, that hasn't been represented in fiction before. I kind of forgot what it was. But I'm kind of looking forward to reading this book because it sounds pretty interesting. First, I really love a good Beauty and the Beast retelling, and secondly, I think this book is kind of, giving us a new perspective, I think, with a character with some sort of disability. So yeah, kind of looking forward to this one. Question number 4. Most anticipated release for the second half of 2019. Okay, so I know my channel is pretty new, so, we haven't gotten to know each other that well yet, but Carry On is like my favorite book of all time. Literally, I just absolutely adore Carry On. I read it twice already and I'm planning to read it again before the sequel comes out. And so the answer to this question will be Wayward Sons by Rainbow Rowell. I am so happy that they decided to push the release date from 2020 to 2019, because if you didn't know, originally this book was supposed to be published in 2020. I mean, I'm kind of happy we're getting this book at all, because there was no plan for a sequel when Carry On came out, so I'm kind of glad we're getting more of Simon and Baz, but I'm also super glad that we're getting it a little bit early. So yeah, this book, the moment it comes out, I'm getting it and I'm reading it as soon as I can, because I just cannot wait to meet up with Simon and Baz and follow their adventures. Question number 5. Biggest disappointment so far. The biggest disappointment this year would have to be Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have read a lot of Taylor Jenkins Reid in the past couple of years, and Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was phenomenal. So I was, like everyone else, really looking forward to Daisy Jones and the Six. But for some reason, and I think it mostly has to do with the writing style, because this is told in a documentary interview kind of way. So I think the writing style did hamper it a bit, but I didn't quite enjoy it as much as Evelyn Hugo, because we didn't get to delve deep into the characters as much as we did in her other books. Because of the way it's told, we just get like a surface viewpoint of a lot of events and a lot of things that happened without diving deeper into, character motivations and all that. So yeah, I was kind of disappointed. I mean, I still gave it 3 out of 5 stars because I did like it, but I was expecting a bit more. Question number 6. Biggest surprise so far. For this one, I kind of went with 2 books. 2 books that were the biggest surprise to me. I think because I wasn't expecting to love them as much as I did. The first book is An Absolutely Unremarkable Thing by Hank Green. The second one is Once Upon a River by Diana Stubblefield. Oh god, I am butchering all these names so bad in this video, but yeah. An Absolutely Unremarkable Thing was phenomenal. I loved the twisty, bendy, science fiction-y stuff in this book, and it reminded me a lot of Sleeping Giants by Sylvia Novelle. Somebody please kill me. I really enjoyed that, and I loved some of the philosophical questions that he presents to us humans. And I think it's very timely too, especially with all these questions and issues about immigration coming up on the forefront. This book is very timely, and I think a lot of people would benefit from reading this book. It may be science fiction, but it does deal with a lot of contemporary issues, and I enjoyed everything in it. The characters, the story, oh my god, the ending. I really need the second book yesterday. Somebody needs to give me a release date for this book. Please. Once Upon a River by Diana Stubblefield was... I don't even know why I decided to read it. I saw it on audiobook and I was like, why not? So I did it. I read it / listened to it, and this book was I don't know, it was magical realism, but the lines between reality and magic is kind of blurred in this book, and all the characters are just fantastic. I think we follow like 3 or 4 different storylines, and the execution of it was so well. It is such a hopeful and beautifully written story. Like, I loved books written like this. It was like my grandmother telling me stories, and I just really enjoyed it. Question number 7. Favorite new author. So favorite new to me author, at least. I went with Diana Stuarfield, Kristen Hanna, and Madeline Miller. All 3 of these authors were new to me authors, and I loved their books. And I cannot wait to read more of their work very soon. Especially Madeline Miller, because I really want to read The Song of Achilles like ASAP. Question number 8. Newest fictional crush. I'm gonna have to go with Charlie and Nick from this graphic novel called Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. This book is so cute, and Charlie and Nick are like my favorite new characters, and I love them to death. I just want to give both of them like a big hug, because these characters deserve a big hug. Just saying. But seriously, if you haven't read Heartstopper, please do so. Question number 9. Newest favorite character. I kind of have 2 for this one. I picked Vasya from the Winter Night trilogy by Catherine Arden, and also Circe from Circe by Madeline Miller. I think both these women are just so strong and inspirational characters, but they have their flaws of their own, and they're trying to make the best of what's presented to them. So I really enjoy reading about them. I really enjoyed their story. I really enjoyed their character growth over the end of the series and the book. So Vasya and Circe. Question number 10. I have no idea what I'm going to do for 11. Book that made you cry. Or rather, in my case, books that made you cry. For this one, the book that actually made me cry were Beer Town by Frederick Bachman. The whole book is just so emotional and so beautifully written, and the story itself is just so powerful, I think. So it was just no surprise that I cried. I shed a lot of tears during the course of this book. I think I have another pick for this one. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, because the ending was just... throughout the whole book there's like a slight dread in your heart, because something bad might happen to one of these characters at any moment. And it does. A lot of bad things happen to some of your favorite characters. But the ending just like wrenches your heart out. So it was no surprise I cried. I'm a sucker for emotional reads, so both these books made me cry a lot. Yep. Question number 11. Book that made you happy. So the book that made me happy would be Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. This book was just so cute. It was just so cute. The whole time I'm reading it, my heart is like just so happy. Like when you're following Nick and Charlie through their a bit of budding romance, and it just fills your heart with so much happiness, and you just hope that these characters are just happy for the rest of their life, that nothing bad happens to them. I don't know what's gonna happen. The 2nd volume is coming out soon, and I cannot wait to read it. I think there are like 13 questions in total in this tag, but I'm kind of not doing the last questions. I even forgot what it was. I'm only doing the 12. So the last questions for this video is, what book do you need to read by the end of 2019? And the answer to that is not one book, but a lot of book. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you so much for watching me talk about all the book freakouts of 2019 so far. And I'll see you guys next time with another video. Goodbye.